Today we have a significant decision of international justice in a case that has real prospects. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is a historic decision that will lead to historic accountability. The head of a terrorist state and another Russian official have officially become suspects of a war crime in the deportation of Ukrainian children, the illegal displacement of thousands of our children to the territory of the terrorist state. In the criminal proceedings being investigated by our law enforcement officers, more than 16,000 cases of forced deportation of Ukrainian children by the occupier have already been recorded, but the real full number of deportees could be much higher. To carry out such a criminal operation would be impossible without the order of the highest leader of the terrorist state. To separate children from their families, to deprive them of any opportunity to contact their relatives, to hide children on the territory of Russia, to disperse them to remote regions. All this is obviously Russian state policy, state decisions, and state evil, which starts exactly with the top official of the state. I'm grateful to the team of Prosecutor Karim Khan and the International Criminal Court, to everyone in the world who helps us fight for justice. I'm grateful for their integrity and willingness to bring those responsible to justice.
Реально притягти до відповідальності тих, хто є винним.
Savaged.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again. More technical problems. We live in the 21st century. No!
Savaged. Unfiltered.
The only reason I know this is because I lived under tyranny. I lived.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking...
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Proper fashion at the proper time.
Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, we made it. Welcome to the show, guys. We got an amazing show lineup for all you guys out there. I want to talk about the Putin/Zelensky saga. Yes, guys. The ICC is now issuing war crimes for an arrest warrant for Putin for alleged deportation of Ukrainian children. Now, this is coming out of believe it or not, CNN reported this about 19 hours ago. That Zelensky wants Putin arrested. There has been an arrest warrant for his arrest, so hopefully we can get this all done in order here, guys. The ICC judges issued this arrest warrant for Putin over the war crimes in Ukraine, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy is a fucking dictator. He's been in office since 2000. Okay, so 23 years now he's been in the public office, and I mean, maybe this is, history in the making. It's been coming. It's been, it's been a patient waiting to the world. But before we get into today's topic, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed Monday's and Tuesday's show. Monday we did a little exclusive special bonus episode into Savage Unfiltered here, guys. I made an appearance on Tommy Nation Politics, or what myself, Joseph, and Saz come to calling it, Clueless Nation. Not to make fun of them, guys. I mean, I give them, somewhat of credit to try as an independent media group, but most of that stuff, guys, is like just idiotic. Some of the questions that come up and this and that, it's like they'll ask you a question and then they want a different answer to what you would come up with. It's like, wait, you want me to answer what you want me to answer? I mean, that almost sounds like a CNN or an MSNBC, man, where like they're like, okay, well, that's not exactly what I was looking for. And why are you like that? I'm like, oh boy. So anyway, guys, I had to make an appearance while I was visiting some family up in Northwest Georgia. You know, I like going on other shows, guys, to see what's out there. You know, to see, you know, what they bring to the table and this and that. You know, it's just who I am. You know, I do try to, you know, be patient with fascocrat shows or independent media groups or leftist type of talk shows or podcasts. I try, guys. I really do. But I hope everyone enjoyed that Monday's episode. It was a good episode. Came in about halfway through their show. So what we did was we took it right to the halfway mark as I came into the show, because I really didn't want to, you know, make the show all about them. Of course, I was on the show, so I wanted to show my listeners and followers and everything on social just where I came in and everything. And we got to talk about, you know, Donald Trump, the differences between Biden and Trump, and, you know, where our country's going with Biden versus where our country went and how it succeeded under Trump. There's a huge difference, although the liberal independent media groups out there really don't see it after, you know, now 4 or 5 years later. It's really pathetic, and it's embarrassing, you know, that they're still you know, backing their puppet boy there in White House, Joe Biden. So what can you do, right? What can you do? And then we had Tuesday's episode just yesterday, guys. Joseph and I got on the air. Literally my first time back on the air, with the exception of, you know, last week going on Tommy Nation Politics, or Clueless Nation, what we call them. I went on that show last Tuesday, and then, you know, we put it on the air just this past Monday. So hope you enjoyed the 2 episodes, as we had some amazing content. Talked a little bit about St. Patrick's Day yesterday. It was really good, guys. A really, really fun episode. I know Joseph was, you know, missing the airways. Going to try to get Sauce back. Tried to get him back this past weekend for a couple of pre-recorded episodes, but Sauce is busy. And hey, I'm not mad. He's doing his thing. He's doing what he wants to do. He's making himself happy, and that's that, guys. Hopefully we can get Sauce back on the air, because I do have some listeners that tune into the show that like to see Sauce on the air every now and then, including myself and Joseph or whomever I bring on the show. So you know, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get Sauce back, but it's just myself and Joseph here and there as the week goes by, and, you know, and that. So today we're going to talk about the Putin saga. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this, guys, because Putin is in trouble. Putin is indeed in trouble, guys. And here's what I'm seeing here on the internet, okay? Because I read them all over the place. So here's exactly what I am seeing on the internet, okay? And I'm seeing a lot. Now, the International Criminal Court, also known as the ICC, okay, just this past Friday, so going on now, 3-4 days ago, issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russian official Maria Belova, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, for alleged scheme to deport Ukrainian children to Russia. Now, in my personal opinion, guys, I do see this as human trafficking. I see it as, you know, criminal charges, okay? International criminal charges, because human trafficking, to my knowledge, and I'm sure people can agree with me on this, is considered an international criminal charge, no matter where it's coming from. Russia, Ukraine, China, all over even in our homeland here in America. You cannot transfer children under the age of 18 without the parental or guardian of the permission, right? You just can't do that. That's a criminal charge. Just because you're the fucking president of Russia doesn't necessarily mean or give you the damn right to deport children for any type of cause or any type of scenario that may come up, whether it's a political decision or it's a publicity thing due to ratings or popularity or this and that. Guys, it's illegal. You cannot do this. It's against the law. So the ICC has issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin for these charges. Now, where they go, folks, is on me. Now, this obviously is catching some national attention on social media, including mainstream, with this latest ordeal coming out. Like I said, they just issued this thing, guys, last Friday. So some of you may be aware of it. Some of you may not be aware of it. But this is a big thing. A big thing when you have a man by the name of Vladimir Putin, which is popular on the world stage as a president of the country of Russia, that is now being accused of these charges. Now, whether they stick or not, folks, they still have to go through investigation. Now, the two countries, folks, obviously Ukraine and Russia, have been battling out turmoil over the course of almost like, a year now, 2-3 years, possibly longer, depending on your news sources. So where it goes, guys, is on me. I mean, listen, guys, I'm not a big fan of either two leaders, whether it's Zelensky or Putin. I mean, they're both fucking warmongers. They're both evildoers in their own rights. I mean, when it comes down to it, do you actually think that these people are for their own people in their country? I don't. I really don't. I think, like I've been saying it over and over and over, I sound like a freaking washwoman or a person that constantly repeats themselves. Guys, this is a supremacy issue. This is a supremacy issue upon its own highest level. You have two guys trying to see who has the bigger cojones or bigger muscle of the two parties, okay, of the two countries of Russia and Ukraine. Now, should Putin be arrested for human trafficking? Of course. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. 110%. Now, if these crimes, if these alleged crimes are accurate and true, okay, then Putin should be arrested and placed in prison. And his power of presidency of the country of Russia should be removed and stripped without a doubt. That's like the president of the United States here in America committing crimes or what we call tyranny against the United States. And they should be removed of power without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, the court said, get this, guys, the court said there are reasonable grounds to remove the president, Mr. Putin, which bears individual criminal responsibility of these alleged crimes for having directly committed human trafficking with children by transporting them from Ukraine to Russia. Now, I really want to understand what his motives were. Okay? Now, if you guys have different opinions, we'll throw in the show notes here on both audio and video format. If you guys are viewing us on video through Rumble, we only release these video podcasting on Rumble. I do it on purpose. I'd love to have it released on YouTube, but you know how YouTube is with their canceling culture and their, not obeying free speech laws here in America. You get the drift, right? So I'd rather go to a conservative platform where free speech is allowed through Rumble. So guys, if you're viewing us on Rumble, thank you very much. Shout out to you guys. It means a lot. Hit that like and follow button. It really does, guys. It means a lot to the show here. Or if you're viewing us on audio, whether it's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, all over the place, guys. On both show notes, which is the description of these shows, there'll be a question. Usually on Spotify, there's an exclusive where there's a poll question, which we'll put in. The other platforms will just put it in as a questionnaire. You can answer it on any other platform if you choose to. I'd love to have your insights on it and plug some of your insights on the next show. So please get those opinions or insights into this question I'm about to say. Do you believe that Vladimir Putin did this intentionally, or was it for some type of political motive? Because still, I don't understand the motive behind this. I really don't. I've been searching all over the internet, whether it's left, right-wing media, social media groups, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not seeing any motives on this yet. Hopefully it'll be surfaced, because I'm not really sure. If you guys have answers, the answers to this, please email us at SAVAGEDUNFILTEREDPODCAST@gmail.com. And I'd love to see some of your answers if you have any answers. Or do you think that there was a motive to this? What do you think the motives are? Because I really don't understand the motives, guys. I really don't understand the motives. Guys, we'll be right back after these short words. Don't go anywhere. I got a lot more here on this saga between Ukraine and Russia. Vladimir Putin, might be going to prison, guys. Be right back after these words.
Birmingham is always on the move. We've got places to go, people to see, fast-paced jobs, and daydream weeks. We've got class at 9, work at 4, dinner at 6, and plans at 8. Yep, we've got a million things to do. And with buses running back to back, there's never been a better way to experience the Magic City.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. 3 things are required in the great outdoors: food, drink, and shelter.
Hello, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. For just dollars a day, you can help helpless animals find shelter.
Bush. Wrong shelter, Sarah. Also, that's a wolf. Head for the mountains.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Savaged Unfiltered, guys. Wow, what a fucking show! I'm telling you. Talking a little bit about the Putin story of him possibly being arrested if these charges do stick. Now, the ICC, guys, if you're not well aware of what the ICC is, the International Criminal Court. That handles a lot of international crimes. And they're handling the crimes now being allegedly against the president of Russia. Now, there are, excuse me, guys, I had some salted peanuts during the commercial break. So hopefully, guys, if you, before we get into there, speaking of the peanuts, guys, we do behind the scenes here every Thursday. So if you ever want to see what goes on behind the scenes, obviously when the cameras are still rolling and we're in commercial break or during the green room before we start the show, we do take some footage out of those shows or episodes and we put them into our behind the scenes. So check us out tomorrow, guys, which will have another episode of behind the scenes here on Savage Unfiltered. You catch myself, Joseph Sauce, doing all types of stuff. Sometimes I'm talking to Shaky in between breaks and commercials, or different segments. It's hilarious, guys. But back to the show. The ICC now saying that these charges, which related to an alleged practice, that CNN, guys, and other outlets, other media outlets, Fox now covering it, Breitbart putting out some footage of this, guys, that have been reported on, are the first to be formally logged against the officials in Moscow, guys. Okay, since its beginning of the unprovoked attack on Ukraine just last year. So now I'm being told by inside sources here through media, mainstream media, that these charges, guys, they stick all the way back until last year when this war actually, officially began with the two countries. Now, more sources here and spokesmen in Moscow are now saying, and I get this, guys, now saying this, that the Kremlin has labeled the ICC's actions as outrageous and unacceptable. They're unacceptable? Of course. Of course the Kremlin, yeah, they act like gremlins. The movie Gremlins, yeah. They act like gremlins, guys. The Kremlin are saying that these charges are outrageous and unacceptable. So,
what?
Of course, the Kremlin there, the government is going to back their fearless leader of Putin with these charges. Excuse me. Because they don't want their president imprisoned. This, guys, you got to understand one damn thing here. This guy is a dictator amongst a dictator. He's been in power for 20 plus years in the government of Russia. Okay? Moscow is almost like a fucking fortress compared to other capitals in their countries. Okay? Now, where does the Kremlin stand on this? Well, here's something, guys, that you may see that may strike you as a shocker.
Oh my God.
That the Kremlin put out, guys, just this past over the weekend. Okay? And you're going to love this, guys. Check this out. We consider the very posing of the question outrageous and unacceptable. Russia, like a number of states, does not recognize the jurisdiction of this court, and accordingly, any decisions of this kind are null and void.
Oh no.
So they don't understand that the ICC is a legit organization that handles international criminal charges.
Huh?
They don't want to recognize that as that. Oh no. No, they don't want to recognize that. So what are they, like King Tut? What are they, like Masalami or Salami, and they can just rule the world and get away with every damn thing behind it? No, folks. Criminal charges exist on the world stage. If you're committed to these criminal charges and you get caught, guess what, folks? You go to jail or prison. That's the way law works. Yes, people of Russia, if your leader Putin had done these charges and committed to these charges, he should be held accordingly to the outcome of them and placed in prison if the courts find him Guilty. Plain and simple. That's how we do it here in the States. I think that's how law and order should be carried out, no matter what country you live in. Check this clip out of now Joe Biden responding to the ICC with these type of charges, guys. Unreal. Check this out.
International Criminal Court issuing an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin?
Well, I think it's justified, but the question is, it's not recognized internationally by us either. But I think it makes a very strong point.
Provide information to the ICC for war crimes in Ukraine.
He's clearly committed war crimes.
Yeah. So, you know, the President Biden there responding to everything, you know, kind of quick and easy to the point. You know, that's how Biden is. He doesn't really give a response to anything, even American politics, let alone world politics. That's just who he is. He just answers real quick, and then he goes, lolly-dotty-dotty, back to the helicopter, right? Or to the Oval Office to lick his ice cream and sit down and do nothing. You know, that's what America has become under this leader. Terrible. Surprised we're not in a world war, you know, with this guy, because this guy wouldn't even know how to carry out the command. It's terrible. Now, guys, this is coming from the Russian Federation of the Kremlin spokesperson. Okay. I'm trying to get her name correct here. Okay. Spokesman, excuse me. Peskov, that tweeted this out this past Friday. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get the last names correctly. I might have butchered it, but I'm sorry. My pronunciation is not always there. But this came out this just past Friday. He tweeted on Twitter stating that the Russian Federation in the capital of Moscow, the Kremlin, will not let this stand lightly. They're going to fight this, guys, all the way to the end. They want their dictator in power. But I can tell you, some of the Russians that live on the outside of the capital, through videos and other sources here that we even get in the States and other countries get, do not feel the same way as the government there and government officials in Russia feel. They want their freedom, folks. They want to have the same liberties as we have here in the United States. But they're not getting it because they have a fucking dictator as president. And Zelensky, folks, he's right around the corner. Now, I want to answer a statement that came up on Clueless Nation last week when I was on their show. And I called out Zelensky as a dictator because he is. He's no better than Putin. They're both dictators. Here's the question that came up, guys. Check this clip out.
The taxpayer? You have to rip off the American taxpayer?
First of all, they don't give a shit about us.
Their economy is failing over there too. And
second of all, we're we're resources. You ever seen The Matrix where they latch onto you because you're batteries?
Yeah, it's a leech.
Do to us. Yeah,
that's what they are. They're leeches.
That's what they do to us. It's just what they do. Literally, I mean, we've all seen that. So how are we still choosing sides? How are we still choosing a Trump and a Biden if we all see that they're leeches? I don't get it.
Because it's all about
we're funding
to them.
Yeah, we're funding two warmongers right now. We're funding, in a way, we're still funding Russia, but we're also funding Ukraine. You know, Zelensky was here like months ago begging the American taxpayer, please give us your money. Please.
He said your money is not charity. Okay? He learned that speech the first day he got off the boat. Okay, so give him some credit. That was the only English he knows. He probably
listen. Here's
your
the
money
thing.
is not charity. Took him a week, bro.
I'm not against Ukraine. Okay, That was a sovereign nation, okay? Russia evaded a sovereign free nation.
That's crazy.
They weren't free though. They were in the Civil War for 8 years though. They were killing they was killing off like part of their people, the Kiev regime. Like they were busy.
Okay, so my response to they invaded a sovereign nation, like we invaded Iraq and Libya and Afghanistan and Somalia. What's new? Because Putin? Is that why? Because we don't like Putin, right? We can see Russia from his house.
They're both dictators, Tommy.
Why y'all like? What's up with that?
Wait.
Now, let me tell you one damn thing. You're saying that Zelensky is not a dictator because he was necessarily voted in through a democratic system. Oh, so let me clear the airwaves, the cloud here. Just because you're elected in through a democratic system or a democratic vote or election or whatever, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a dictator. Folks, do your fucking homework. We've had dictators in this country. We had dictators in other countries that were voted in through similar scenarios as the United States, and they were still dictators. Still dictators. Look at Fidel Castro, dictator. Richard Nixon, points of his presidency, carried out some of his policies almost as a dictator. Look at Joe Biden. Some of the actions that he uses almost classifies himself as a dictator. So, yeah, whatever. Dictator, schmumtator, however you want to. Yeah, he's a fucking dictator, guys. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, guys, the message from Friday's warrants now stating this: as such a criminal operation would have been impossible without the order of the highest leader of the terrorist state. Oh, okay. Now, the message from Friday's warrants must be that basic principles of humanity bind everyone or everybody, says Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan. And he said this in an exclusive interview, excuse me, with CNN later on Friday. Nobody should feel they have a free pass. Nobody, he says, should feel that they can enact with abandonment. And definitely nobody should feel they can act and commit to genocide or crimes against humanity or war crimes with impunity. He told CNN chief international correspondent Carissa Ward at The Hague. I agree with that. I agree with that 110%. Even though I don't agree with a lot of what CNN spins or any other leftist media group, but I think they're going over the bridge, so to speak, folks. I really do. Their ratings are low. Maybe they're trying to report positive news after the garbage that they reported for the last, God, almost going on 10 years now. Longer. Just gotten worse. I mean, their headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia is pretty much bankrupt. They're closing up shop of what I read about a week and a half ago. So maybe CNN is going back to the original CNN. Let's just hope. Let's hope, folks. Now, Russia. Let's talk about Russia here before we close it up, okay? Russia, folks, like the U.S., Ukraine, and China, is not a member of the ICC. I can probably understand why. Because this country does not support law and order. This country does not support any type of sovereignty as an agenda. They support tyranny. They support war. They support chaos and mischief and all those other bad things that come along. Now, as the court does not conduct trials, any Russian officials charged would either have to be handed over by Moscow or arrested outside of Russia. So, with that being said, if Vladimir Putin is indeed reasonably, and I say this very lightly, folks, if he is charged with these charges, with the human trafficking of these children, okay, from Ukraine, Vladimir Putin would have to be arrested outside of Moscow or outside of the country of Russia, because their laws do not bend with the ICC. So that means that Putin would have to be like somewhere in Ukraine for the ICC just to pick him up on that arrest warrant. Talk about corruption, folks. Wow. This is another slap on the wrist. It really is. Slap on the damn wrist. Guys, before we get any further here, I want to take out this overlay. Thank you very much, Shaky. I want to get into these QR codes, guys, and then we're going to close it out with this topic here. Guys, for the book, a lot of people are questioning the book, guys. That's right. We put up the QR code here, America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War. Available, guys, on Amazon. My first book that I wrote, getting a lot of great feedback from it, guys. If you take your cell phone or your iPhone and you scan that QR code, guys, it's going to come right up to the main page there on Amazon. And it's available in softcover and ebook, as well as other outlets. We're also on Smashwords, as well as Barnes & Noble Nook. So you can get it on Barnes & Noble Nook, but on the ebook format. So really good stuff, guys. If you want to learn anything more about this show and understand a little bit more, guys, head over to our main podcast platform on Savage Unfiltered Podcast. Again, guys, just scan that QR code. We're available on Apple Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Spotify. The list goes on and on, guys. Scan that QR code, guys, and it comes up to all our amazing platforms and links. Always great stuff that we're adding into the show. Great stuff, guys. But we're going to get back to the show here. Where do you think our country should go from here with this whole Ukraine thing? Now possibly Putin getting arrested for war crimes and human trafficking. One senior Ukrainian official spoke to one of our main media outlets here with MSNBC just this past Monday. Said that Kalev has been pushing the ICC for some time to seek arrest warrants against Russian individuals, including Putin and his Kremlin government officials there in Moscow for quite some time. Excuse me. The Russian government now stating, and they're not really denying, taking Ukrainian children and has made their adoption by Russian families a centerpiece of propaganda. Excuse me. So some of these children that they're accusing the Russian government, including Putin, of taking is all propaganda, according to Russian officials, stating that the adoption is being done responsibly and accurately through Russian families that are seeking the children. But are they seeking the children for adoption, or are they seeking the children for human trafficking, for political views and decisions. Again, folks, it's questions that need to be addressed. I mean, seriously. If it's human trafficking, yes, the people that are responsible should be placed in prison. Now, if it's adoption, if they're seeking these children for adoption purposes, and they're doing it the right way, then close the case out. Just close it out. It's a waste of money. I mean, that's my personal opinion, right? Now, here's something here I want to read here before we close it out, guys, because we're coming up to that point where we're going to close it out here. Okay, in April, the office of Lava Belova, which is a Russian commissioner for children's rights, said that around 600 children from Ukraine have been placed in orphanages in Kharkiv before being sent to live with families in the Moscow region. Now, it's going back, guys, to that scenario. Is it human trafficking or is it adoption? No idea, guys. Could be both. Could be both. Don't know. What's your thoughts on that, guys? I'm going to close it out here. Hope everyone enjoyed today's show. In the next coming months, guys, we're going to be having a website being added to Savage Unfiltered, including a storefront. I have not yet made my decision on when the storefront will be available, but probably around the same time frame as the website. There's going to be some merchandise on all of the content here on the show, including the personalities, myself, Joseph, and Sauce. So look out for that in the near future, guys. And also, too, guys, pick up the book, America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War, because we have conflicts here in the United States that we're fighting for, and we have to get resolved, guys. We have to get it resolved now, or we may not have that tomorrow. Remember that, guys. And also, too, guys, remember, keep it savaged. Thank you to the Savaged Army that tunes into the show. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, guys.